Good afternoon, curling world. Welcome back to the second ADELBODEN International 2021 edition. We are drawing to the close of the round-robin games here at ADELBODEN. And you join us for our featured game here this afternoon. Two teams that we haven't had a chance to watch yet. And that is Team Iseli from Switzerland against Team Glukovh from Russia. Russian team already qualified for this evening's quarterfinals. They've won 3 out of their 3 games so far.
Все хорошо было.
Scheinbar Ding, Alter. Es ist Hure so rinnen drin. Siehst du es? Hure so Striche drin.
Какие-то надрезывания не нравятся, странные.
Ja, 13.
Team Iseli still looking for a win.
Das ist die gleiche Spur.
They've got a game in hand actually. The other teams have played an extra game. So Team Iseli definitely have a chance to catch up.
Max. Switch. Länge ist gut.
13-7.
I would think the Russian team, they just came off from a very good performance at the World Championships, particularly from that man in your picture.
Давай средний. Дай же щетка.
So Iseli having a bit of a tough weekend. We always say it, but there's no easy games here. But they've had some good games, the Iseli team. I've said this about other teams, Klima's team from Czech Republic. We watched them yesterday evening. And we also saw them in Baden. And yeah, typically there's 1 or 2 teams in these type of competitions and they give everybody trouble, but they just don't quite pick up the win. That's how hard it is at this level to pick up a win. It's tricky stuff. But I think the longer Iseli team has been on ice, I think the narrower the gap will get in terms of catching up with the level of play of the other teams. And you join us in the first end. You can see that Team Iseli have the hammer, that little hammer light next to their name. That means they have last stone in this first end. They are playing red stones. And Team Glukovh from Russia, they do not have last stone in this first end, and they are playing yellow stones. Pretty straightforward stuff so far in this first end. Nobody really willing to start putting stones in play just quite yet. Just exchanging hits there. Nothing too difficult for this first end. You don't see this quite so often anymore, now that we've changed the rule to have a 5 rock-free guard zone. You used to see this a bit more in previous times, in the previous cycle when it was a 4 rock-free guard zone. You would quite often see this kind of first end where both teams maybe just want to settle into the ice. They don't really want to start going all out aggressive in the first end. They don't want to risk losing a big end right away. And that's the first mistake then in this game from the Russian team, and maybe Team Iseli with last stone. Maybe they can make the most of this.
Мы по утренней игре просто смотрим. Сейчас раскататься должен первый.
Linie ist gut, der Platz.
Sandro. 14-6.
This has to be there, boys. They've tried as hard as they can, haven't they? Not sure if that quite made it. Could be a lost opportunity there. So while we're in the middle of this first end, I can tell you who else is on the ice at the moment. On sheet A, on the left of our screen, we have Team Corey Hürlimann. So that's our guest ladies team for the weekend, who have kindly made up the roster. So don't be alarmed if you hear some ladies calling some shots. And they are playing Team Mercier from France. On our featured game here, we have Team Iseli from Switzerland, and they are playing Team Glukovh from Russia. On the neighbour sheet, we have Team Nyman against Team Schnider. So Nyman, the new team from Sweden, and Team Schnider, really nice strong team from Switzerland. I think that will be a real doozy next door. Team Nyman also already qualified. They've won all 3 of their games, just quietly piling on the points. And Team Schnider, they've got a bit of work to do. They need to win this game to keep themselves in contention. So that's on sheet C. And over on sheet D, we have Team Jungen from ADELBODEN, and they are playing the Young Netherlands Talent team. And we'll be keeping eyes on all of those games. So if you're just joining us, we're in the first end of the penultimate round robin draw here at the second ADELBODEN International 2021 edition. Just exchanging hits at the moment. A little bit more unusual these days. I think the difference between the teams is so small between staying ahead and winning and getting a bit left behind. You typically now see the top teams from the first stone in the first end. They're kind of going all out aggressive. But you still see sometimes a first end like this, everybody just keeping things clean, not getting into a muddle of stones immediately.
Whoa. Tipp. Ist gut. Sehr schön.
No trouble there for Team Iseli. We will say hello to the teams properly just after this first end.
Такая щетка. Давай средний тейк. Смотри, да, куда долго?
There's a whole bunch of curling we've been watching already this weekend. We are always watching sheet B, in case you either want to check back on the previous games. All of the games we've been watching you will find on the video tab of this YouTube channel. We've been watching sheet B every round, and you can catch up on all the scores for these rounds. It's typically updated in real time, pretty much. That's going to roll out, I think, though. They were getting a bit cute with that roll. Oh, no, he's not. It's just going to hang on, but it is out in the open. So giving Iseli a chance to blank this end. But yeah, you can catch up with all the scores from this round and all the previous rounds. And you can see the upcoming rounds at worldcurlingtour.org. And we've still got plenty more curling to come. We have one more round robin match after this. That's the 5 o'clock draw. And then this evening at 9 o'clock European, we have the quarterfinals. So one team on this ice, or one team in our featured game, Glukovh, they're already qualified for quarterfinals. Team Iseli still looking for their first win. I think it may be beyond them to... I don't think they can get to the quarterfinals, but I think they can influence where Team Glukovh ends up in the ranking. And always good to finish strongly as well, so I'm sure they'll be looking for a win out there today. But blank end there in end 1. And while they're aligning on strategy for end 2, we can say hello to the teams. And on the left of your screen there, that's Team Iseli. Fourth thrower and skip is Jan Iseli. Third thrower, Max Vince. Second thrower, Nathan Weber. And lead thrower, Sandro Fanchini. And about to start us off here in the second end is Team Glukovh from Russia. Fourth and skip is Sergei Glukovh. Third thrower, Dmitry Mironov. Second thrower, Evgeny Klimov. And lead thrower, right in your picture right there, is Anton Kalalb. I do hope I've got those names correct. There's a standing invitation to correct me if you're a Russian speaker or Czech speaker or Norwegian speaker and the way I say the names is hurting your ears, just let me know. So similar start then for the Russians in the second end. Russia does not have last stone in the second end. It was a blank in the first, so last stone carrying over to Team Iseli. And they did have a chance in that first end to put 2 yellows into play, but just came up a little bit short. They'll be hoping to be a bit more solid in the second end. And there on the left of your picture, we can see Team Corey Hürlimann, our guest ladies team. They are playing Team Mercier from France. And a couple of the French team, they have those lovely cheerful red curling pants on, which I really like. It's kind of a lifelong hobby of mine, looking for curling pants that fit me, because I'm made entirely of legs and most curling pants are not long enough. And if I could have a lovely cheerful pair of red curling pants, I certainly would. I can only assume that most women must be about the size of a hobbit. So this is looking ominously similar to first end at the moment. Bit of a hit and roll out for Russia there.
Первый раз я думал, может, мне показалось, там релиз вроде хороший был, сейчас прям видно.
Sashka.
Good, Linie.
Sashka.
Linie gut.
T-line. T-line. Een klein Nou, T-line is goed.
Luege.
Bang is super.
Jetzt Eis. Jetzt Eis.
Просто ошибается все время. Sit, bro.
Doesn't look like Jan Iseli fancies being all out aggressive. They're maybe taking the cautious approach. As I said, they're still looking for their first win, although they've had close games. So they're maybe being very cautious, making sure they don't get into trouble in these first few ends. And nothing wrong with that. We have at least one Russian fan in the chat. I think maybe, is that Anna? I'm not sure if that's how I say your name, Anna, but welcome. I certainly don't read Russian. But great to have you with us. If you're in the chat and you want to say hello, you want to tell us who you're cheering for this afternoon, what you're looking forward to in the quarterfinals and later on, don't be shy. Everybody's very nice here in the virtual club.
Давай с тебя начнем. Сану. Sehr schön. Good. Сану.
Ага.
Good so.
Indeed, a copy paste at the moment here in end 2. I can understand why Jan Iseli is being cautious. They really want to work hard and give themselves a chance to win this game. And this Russian team, they really blitzed the round robin at the previous World Championships in April this year in Calgary. They ended up in 4th place.
Spät schneller als vorhin.
Pretty talented team then, and Jan Iseli will know this.
So.
And that could be why he's just keeping things clean for the first couple of ends. Doesn't want to get into a mess, doesn't want to run the risk of losing a big end early on. But they do have last stone, Team Iseli, and at some point they will have to take the game to the Russians. At some point they will have to start being a bit aggressive. This Russian team ended up second in the standings after the round robin at the World Championship. That's a bit more aggressive from them. That kind of forces Jan Iseli to switch it up a little bit.
Die rechte finde ich schwer.
Okay, dann mach du.
Der Run ist keine Option.
Mal so.
Zwischen ist off.
Ist gut. Das 8.
We'll be keeping an eye on the other games out there.
Wie aus, oder?
Yep.
And do join us in the chat if you want to let us know who you're cheering for, either in this draw or in this competition.
Yep. Oh, oh.
Yep.
Oh, oh, oh. Good.
That's nice work from second thrower Nathan Weber, sorry. It does leave that guard out front, but now it's a yellow guard.
Merci. Merci, good question.
Oh, not my mistake, sorry, that was the first throw of Max Vince for Team Iseli, and this is now the second throw of Dmitry Mironov for Russia, looking to just replace that stone in the forefoot. Looks pretty accurate. It's pretty nice there. So Iseli could drive that yellow back, but yeah, he can actually see most of that red, I think. That didn't quite find enough curl to get right in behind the yellow. And you can see they're taking a little bit of ice there. It's not going to be coming so quickly, this stone. They need this yellow hanging around. So nice controlled way. They just want to punch that red through, and then they want to roll away from the centre, not give Russia a chance to hit and roll in behind that cover. I have an idea they might go to roll too far though, they are, and that gives Russia the chance to make that shot again, but better this time. Yeah, shouldn't need too much discussion, I don't think. It should be fairly clear which path they need. They may bring the ice in a little bit, since they didn't quite manage to get in behind cover the first time.
Жека, легко!
Линия нормальная.
Жека, 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 рядом! Все, линия есть!
Линия сип!
Сип!
Сип! Линия!
О, линия есть!
Yeah, I don't think this needs too much help with the line. There we are, it's made it around the guard very easily. It's running on a little bit, and actually it might have curled so much it's popped out the other side. Indeed it has. So Jan Iseli, he can see almost all, if not all of that Russian stone on the clockwise handle actually, and now he does have a nice opportunity. He'll play that same controlled way. He wants this yellow to hang around as well, and I think what he might like actually is to hit that red out and roll to the right of our screen as you see it, And again, keep Russia away from that centre. The danger if he hits him nose towards the centre is that he will still be behind T-line and would give Russia a chance to draw a stone in on top of it. So let's see. He's not rolling away to our right though. So a little bit like that, but as you can see, there is definitely space for Sergei Glukovh to put a red stone right on top of that and make life a little bit difficult for Iseli. The other option is he may just want to punch that yellow through if he can. Although you can't see too much of it, maybe just about a quarter of that stone. I think the better idea is indeed, it looks like they are just going to play up to the face of that yellow. Don't really need to move it. And just try to make sure that Iseli cannot score 2 points in this second end.
Линия хорошая.
Линия хорошая.
Женя, сип.
Линия хорошая.
It's got plenty of line, this stone, nowhere near the guard, that's good.
Супер. Линия супер. Нельзя ничего. Если контакт, плохо.
It's a little bit high for weight. I don't think he's going to stick on that yellow. He's not, but I think that's probably good enough. Not easy to move that red past the yellow. Not sure if there's a shot for two here. I don't think so. I think Glukovh has done just about enough with that final stone. Well, let's see. Maybe if you play about backline weight, the key is to get past that guard, and if you make it past that guard by nothing at all and your stone's still curling, you may just about have enough space to curl past the centre of the red stone and just pop it back past that sitting yellow. That would be a lovely shot if you can get it. And not really much risk to this shot. Worst case, you would pick up one. So may as well give it a try. I think then he wants just about backline weight here. Oh gosh, that's got a long way to draw though. I don't think he's making two, but I think he should be fine enough for one, yeah. That's fine. Nice job from Jan Iseli. But good saving shot there from Sergei Glukovh. I tell you, if he was doing that again and again in the World Championships, I would say he almost dragged that Russian team to the second spot of the table by himself. That's not to say the rest of his team wasn't playing well. They certainly were, but Sergei Glukovh was, gosh, he was just pulling amazing shot after amazing shot out of the bag. Iseli team then forced to score 1 point, forced to give up last stone in this third end. They will be starting us off in the third end, and now last stone is with Russia.
Aber weißt du, ein nächstes wenn drin ist, egal.
As I said, it's an interesting game going on sheet C on the right of our screen. That's Team Nyman against Team Schnider. Team Nyman also already qualified for quarterfinals. They have won 3 out of 3 games. And Team Schnider, I think they need to win this game to give themselves a chance. Very similar to what we saw them doing in Baden a couple of weeks ago, where, goodness me, did they fight with every stone to pull themselves up that table and give themselves a chance of qualifying. And they were the 9th place team after the round robin for 8 quarter-final places. So I would love to see them go one better and qualify for the quarterfinals here instead. We have 4 groups of 5 teams. The top 8 will qualify for quarterfinals this evening. As I said, Team Nyman, the new young team from Sweden, they've been quietly going about winning every game. They're already qualified, and I think if Schnider wins this game, I think they certainly put themselves in position to qualify. They may be depending on other results. One of the teams out on the ice here, Team Glukovh, also qualified already for the quarterfinals. I think Team Iseli not able to qualify anymore, but they can certainly disrupt Glukovh's competition.
No linie is lang. Gingen 4.
13.
Maar is goed, we zijn nog daar aan moeten lukken.
Oké.
Oké. Nee, spelen we die ganze Zeit die Linie. Du musst schauen. Da ist es härter, safe. Ist gut so.
Team Hess that we saw earlier on, they're not on this draw, but they are also already qualified for quarterfinals later on. They've also won 3 games out of 3 so far. And Team Hösli in the final group, also on 3 wins out of 3, also already qualified. So 4 teams already through to the quarterfinals this evening. The player switch review between Team Hess and Team Hösli seems to be working for both of them. They have swapped Marco Hösli and Yves Stocker for this weekend, because the rest of Team Hess and along with Marco Hösli will play in the Universiade later, using this weekend as a practice for that team. Going well so far, I think they would have to say. So Team Iseli not having last stone in this third end, don't want to leave this Russian stone lying around. Of course, they were sweeping that out of hand. I think that's going to overcurl a bit. It is. And that was stone number 5, so that is still protected by free guard zone. And that goes back to how it was. They'll be a bit disappointed with that. You could see most of that red Russian stone. They'll be a little bit disappointed not to have done better with that stone.
Небольшой вал тоже будет окей, у нас камень будет близко на разводку. Стей, в принципе, тоже более-менее. Окей? Если получится широкий ролл в дом.
And that miss shot means now that they are going to lose their centre guard. They may lose the chance to be aggressive in this end, and they may just have to defend for the rest of this end.
Хорошо. Сип. Воу. Нет, нет, Даня. Да и так что-то будет, типа того. Пойдет.
They do remove the yellow, but they leave the red in basically the same place. A big shrug of the shoulders from Sergei Glukovh. And a let off for Team Iseli after making a mistake with their previous stone. They get a mistake right back from Russia, and they now have a second chance to remove this red. They're maybe going to take a little bit more ice. We know the stone grabs a big curl towards the end, but this stone looks pretty good. Don't think they need to sweep this. This stone looks like it's fine on its own. They would rather that yellow hung around. But that's okay. I think probably, yep, that's where Russia want to put. They want to replace that stone, get something tucked in behind the corner guard, take play away from the centre. Russia has last stone in this third end. And their ideal situation is to keep play away from the centre. Keep Team Iseli busy defending over on the wings. And then with their last stone, put that shot right in the centre. This looks like this is curling in just nicely, although the sweepers are standing off. Is that going to go a bit too far? A little bit, yeah. Lovely line, but plenty of space for Iseli to come in and neutralise that. Exactly, if he just plays pretty much the same stone, he can neutralise that red. Exactly, he doesn't even really need this yellow stone to bump up to the red, because then that leaves space for Russia to do the same again. If you put it just there where Jan has his bush, then you neutralise that red and you will block off that path for Russia to get something behind cover. So that's exactly where they want it. Just exactly on the tee line or a little bit before. First stone in this third end for third thrower, Max Vince. Don't worry about the camera wobbling. That's just a little gust of air when someone opens the door to the ice hall. So that stone is running on a bit, but that does neutralise the red. But as we said, that because it's run on past tee line, it does give Russia the chance to do that straight back. Russia won't mind doing this though. As long as they're keeping play away from the centre, they're pretty happy about that. The ideal situation is that they will already have one red lying over here towards the side of the house, and they will have a shot towards the middle of the house to try and pick up a second point. This looks just nice again from Klimov. But as you can see, there's again still a bit of space for Iseli to neutralise that red and try to block that path. Ooh, and a nice hot chocolate has just arrived for me. Very nice. Thank you. We had just about enough time for lunch between the last session and this one. You're very well looked after here in ADELBODEN. There's a nice buffet lunch with a nice salad bar and a hot meal as well. So the players got plenty to eat. And that's exactly what we thought would happen. Just piling all those stones one on top of the other. Now the reason these games were a little bit later on is because for the first time in this competition we had extra ends. We had 2 extra ends in the previous session. And if you were a Team Walstad fan from Norway, then you would be a little bit sad about that, because in the extra end between Team Walstad and Team Hösli, the young Italian team, the Italians pinched it by 1. It was a final score of 6-5 to Hösli over Team Walstad at the extra end. Super win for them. They're having a really strong weekend. That's a pretty handy shot there as well from the Russian. Switching up all the angles of the stones there. And then the other extra end we had was on sheet D, the game between Team Klima from Czech Republic and Team Traub from Switzerland. Again went to an extra end, and that was a steal of 1 for Team Traub over Team Klima. So poor old Team Klima still giving everybody trouble going to the last shot of every game, but not quite picking up the points. But those 2 extra ends, that's why we were a little bit later starting this round. It's quite a tight schedule. We have 5 rounds, 5 draws today. That's the first extra ends we've had all competition. Easily. That could be a costly mistake. Russia has last stone. They are already lying 2. I think you might come to regret that one, Jan, easily. They're not quite finding that line very well. That's the second stone they've had that they haven't quite found that line on the counterclockwise handle going away from the centre.
Если мы, допустим, даже просто здесь играем.
Ты не хочешь просто вести?
Не, я просто думаю, что может нам и не обязательно вести. Если он будет дабл отсюда изнутри, видишь, его, скорее всего, отъедет.
Russia don't need to worry about those two yellows at the back. The two reds on the left of the centre, both of them outcount those yellows, so they don't need to do anything about the yellows. They just need to ask themselves where is the best place to put a third red into the rings. That's a costly miss from Jan there, I must say. They don't have last shot, they needed to move those reds.
Если он сделает этот трон, ну у нас здесь две атаки, ой, две подпорки. Что тебе больше нравится? Мне кажется, тут все, что не сделаешь, все более-менее нормально.
Мне кажется, что можно ударить дабл.
I'm not sure it needs quite this much discussion.
Окей, давай. Сыном?
Инда.
And I'm not fully sure what the idea is here either, to be honest.
Просто если он будет бить изнутри, то с потерей шутера. Дабл.
In my opinion, they don't need to do anything about those yellows, but they seem to think they do.
Шутер, то мы можем его достать на 3. Да. Ин.
This is our first look at this Russian team this weekend. They've already won 3 out of 3 games so far. Already booked a place in the quarterfinals.
Sip. Whoa. Whoa.
Сип, здесь сейчас между.
Okay, so those yellows are now gone. Maybe they felt like that was the best place to put a third red.
Туда не идет, потому что он сейчас между придет и вниз выйдет, вообще был бы фейл. В любом случае, его вправо попадает.
But a second chance for Jan Iseli to try to make this double takeout. No guard to catch on this time. But he still needs to take care with that line. If he would play the same line again, he won't get the double, even though there isn't a guard in the way. So come on, Jan. Let's get a nice shot here to keep that confidence up.
Whoa.
Oh, he's a left-hander, Jan. I hadn't noticed that before. I think he may have overcorrected this a little bit because he was worried about overcurling. He has. So he didn't catch enough of the stones that time, and that's given easy shot for 3 for the Russian team, or they're taking a look at this stone out front to see if they can somehow bounce that stone in and bounce themselves in at the same time for maybe 4. I think this is worth trying, as long as he's playing the correct weight, which would be about T weight. He should definitely get 3 anyway, even if it doesn't quite work out for 4. Definitely worth a try, this shot. It can make a big difference to pushing this game over the line if they get a big 4 in this end.
Свой выбьем, если что, если перевалим. Нет, я имею в виду... Окей, ладно.
Last stone of this second end for 4th thrower and skipper of the Russian team, Sergei Glukovh.
Не попадаем.
Yeah, that's not going to catch the red out front there, but as I said, as long as he's got the right weight, he should be pretty much fine. Well, I wouldn't have believed that was possible. Giggles all round. I'm not sure anybody thought there was a gap there, but there was. So, yeah, sort of a bit of a low 5 there. And huge let off for Jan Iseli there. That's a huge difference between a score of 4-1 and 2-1. So come on, Jan Iseli, the curling gods are smiling on you. I'm not sure what happened to that stone from Russia, if it maybe had a little pick up and change direction, or not too sure. Anyway, finding a path that nobody even thought was there. Huge let off for Team Iseli, so let's make the most of this. Jan Iseli. They do have last stone again, And the score is a very makeable 2-1.
Ja. Die Frage ist, wie lange das geht.
Let's say hi to Carolyn in the chat. Nice to have you with us, Carolyn. Carolyn Mazzucca. That sounds, is that an Italian name maybe? Maybe you're cheering for our two young Italian teams who are having a good weekend. Both of them getting wins out there.
Шестой гард, линия отличная.
Nein. Aber sie haben ja vorher auch lange Zeit
Не умирает, ребят, не умирает. Нет.
Carolyn happy to be watching curling again. Yeah, there's plenty of curling on this weekend in particular. We are here in Adelboden for the second Adelboden International. There's a competition ongoing with some of the other teams, the top teams from Europe in Scotland. There is a mixed doubles competition going on in Oberstdorf. Plenty of curling going on now. We do still have some restrictions, a little bit to do with COVID rules. We do still wear masks indoors in Switzerland if you're at the store or if you're on the train or if you're moving around the curling club here. We still put a mask on. But definitely better than last year. Last year it was a lot stricter. The teams were really quite separate from us. The teams had the ice hall and the locker rooms, and then we all stayed up in the club room. But this year the team was able to sit together after the games. I think to travel to Switzerland, I think you do have to be vaccinated. You have to show your vaccination certificate. So all the players that bit safer from getting sick this year. That just overran a little bit. Team Iseli's Yellowstone there, which allowed Russia to remove it, but they have left a corner guard. And that means that Jan can proceed with his original idea to draw a nice stone in behind that corner guard. Team Iseli with yellow shots. They have last stone in this fourth end.
Ja, bis kurz, 3.
Ist gut. Linie gut, Nathan, dranbleiben.
Mirza, ja, Mirza.
Hör mit. Max. 15-0.
And up in the club room, we have a few more spectators this year. Last year, we sadly had to tell everyone not to come and watch, which I think was maybe the first time in history that we said to people, don't come to the club to support the teams. But that was due to the health restrictions. This year, the club much busier. You can go ahead and sit in the club room if you're wearing a mask. So going for yellow, sorry, red onto yellow, which he gets very nicely. But I think Jan can still use that stone if he would play a similar kind of shot and just corner freeze that red. That would be a nice shot.
Das ist schwer.
Heck, Maximum.
Jetzt geht auch immer in Mitte.
Carolyn's actually in Portland, Oregon.
Wird freeze on the road, aber ich wird
So
freeze.
she's in US as well. She's a big international curling fan.
Oder wenn der nur backline.
That's good to hear. I hope there's something for everyone this weekend. As I said, we've got a lot of familiar flags here, say from Italy, from Sweden, from Netherlands, but some new younger teams coming through. The big names of tomorrow. And welcome Vera in the chat as well. Vera says, good stay, Team Iseli. Good stones to Team Iseli. She's cheering for this team in your picture. Welcome Vera to the chat, nice to have you. Looks like Iseli is exactly doing that. He wants to corner freeze this red, but it's a little bit overthrown. That's too much weight on that stone. And they're just struggling with their execution of the shots easily. They're going for the right things. And Russia are giving them a couple of chances actually. Russia not quite making their shots perfectly. But they need to tighten up a wee bit, Team Iseli, if they want to push this game over the finish line. If you want to tell us who you're cheering for, could be in this game or one of the other teams in this competition, feel welcome to join us in the chat, say hi. Or if you just want to say hello, we're glad to say hello to you as well. That's a really nice shot from Russia. And putting a bit of pressure now on Iseli. Yeah, I think the time for building this end may have come and gone. We may need to bail out this end a little bit, make sure we're not getting stuck with too many reds in play.
Da hinten, links, ja. Da, wo ich macht Fuß ist gut. Ich sage, du musst etwa 2/3, 3, halb. Schön set out.
So now trying to clean up a bit. Team Iseli give themselves some space, give themselves a chance to get some points. Doesn't quite work as he wanted it to. He jammed that red that was on the outside of the rings in the house. But still better than it was. We've now still got that corner guard and a couple of reds in play that could provide some cover. First throw in this fourth end for Dmitry Mironov.
Даня, вдвоем, если можно. Полностью на центр. Сип.
Russia just putting that guard back though. Iseli going to have to try something similar.
Ja, wo muss noch? Okay.
В конце доходит. Нормально. Главное сразу не брать.
We've got one more round of the round robin to come after this draw. That's at 5 o'clock European. And that will conclude the round robin. And then we'll be on to quarterfinals at 9 o'clock this evening European. Nice double take out there from Team Iseli. I'm not sure it helps them too much because, as you can see, the yellow is wide open. That was maybe a bit of a shot of frustration there, just really wanting to get rid of some of the reds. But I'm not sure that particularly helps them. Although if this red doesn't get behind cover, then they would maybe have a chance to get a hit and roll behind cover. Just like that, that red wide open. And another chance now. Team Iseli having some chances in this game, but not quite executing. So let's just tighten up a wee bit. Really concentrate on each of these shots. It looks like they're playing a controlled weight. Important that this yellow hangs around.
Yep, tip.
Yep.
Поддержится. Он куда? Под боковой?
Whoa. Whoa. Yep.
Yep.
Whoa. Whoa.
This looks really nice. Is it going to stop?
Sorry, it's now.
It is. So that's better stuff from Iseli. That yellow not quite hidden, but dragging play away from the centre, and that's important. There's our friend Matilda in the chat. Matilda was in the virtual club 2 weeks ago in Baden as well. I think Matilda's in Sweden. I know she's a fan of the Swedish teams, and she's happy to see Team Nyman already in the quarterfinals. Yeah, they're having a really strong weekend. I'll update you on the scores in this draw. They're playing in the neighbour sheet on sheet C, and I'll update you just shortly with that.
Окей, все хорошо, все хорошо. Нет, не все. Нет. Хорошо. Бля. Хорошо.
Was hängt Seite? Oder was hängt Mitte? Ist gut, ja.
3 stones to come then in this 4th end of our featured game here in ADELBODEN, the 2nd ADELBODEN International. That did roll out, that Russian stone, and that gives more options to Jan Iseli.
14,5 würde ich eher sagen. 14.
Ja, ja, ist schon wirklich fein, ne? Es läuft Touren durch.
I'm not sure exactly what the call is. I think it may be, again, to draw in behind that corner guard. Not too sure, let's see. You can see Jan's left-handed. He's coming out of the opposite hack to most of us right-handers. And he's coming at just a slightly different angle, and sometimes you just need to take that into account if you're going for a very precise shot. Indeed, it looks like he is trying to draw one in behind cover. Of course, this is coming in a bit chunky as well. You need to lay off the gas, Team Iseli. Kind of overthrowing everything just now, and that hasn't really put pressure on Russia. That's slipped through the rings there. And that does give Russia a chance to drive a stone round in behind that centre guard and force Iseli to follow that down. As I said, we have one more round robin after this at 5 o'clock European. Our featured game will be Team Hösli, who are also already qualified for quarterfinals, against Team Hürlimann. And we will be recharging the chat batteries over that game. It will be Deputy Chief Franzi will be in charge of just watching the game just with the cameras for that, and then we will all be back at 9 o'clock this evening for quarterfinals. I'm sure regular fan Daniel Hösli, he's often in the chat as well. I'm sure he will be tuning in this evening. Both Hösli brothers in different teams this weekend, but both brothers already qualified for those quarterfinals. Lovely stone there from Sergei Glukovh, really forcing Jan Iseli to do the same thing. I think he's asking himself if he can make the double take out and try and blank the end instead. There's no risk to that. You can easily try. Worst case, you lose one. It's not the end of the world.
Oder du kommst noch hinten 4, machst einen. Man hat gesagt, einer ist gut.
Wenn du auf der Garten hast, ist es verloren.
Ja, wenn der nicht kommt, ist 3-1. Ja. Und 15, ist auch nicht gut. Das Gefühl, wenn du mit hinten 4 kommst, stechlich tappst, hast du einen. Aber du kannst auch den spielen.
If he can get a blank, that is a good result for Team Iseli. He doesn't really want to pick up only one stone. As we've said, Iseli has last stone. And the default situation, if you have last stone, is really being able to pick up 1 point whenever you have last stone. And that's why if you want to win the game, you have to do something a bit more. And that's why he would potentially like to blank this end. Not too difficult for him to pick up 1 stone. It would be quite straightforward for Jan Iseli to follow that stone just thrown by Sergei Glukovh and score 1 point. And yeah, maybe he feels more comfortable doing that. That's also fine. Sometimes it really comes down to which shot you are personally more comfortable with. And there's wisdom in this as well, to book that point on the board rather than risking giving up another point to the Russians. This will level the scores again, and that's not a terrible place to be at the halfway point. So a little bit less weight, I think, than the previous shot.
Lengi! Okay, whoa! Achtung, ja! Whoa! Ja,
yeah, let's make sure, boys. We know it catches the curl at the end.
Whoa! Oh! Oh! Not chip! 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 Switch, not
That's nicely judged, really nicely judged there from third and vice Max Vince. And that's exactly what we needed from Iseli. That will hopefully give him confidence, steady the ship. And at the halfway point in our featured game here in ADELBODEN, it's 2 points each. There we are, once we put up that one yellow. Lovely shot there from Jan. That will please Vera, our Team Iseli fan, in the chat. And once we put that point up, we will have a score of 2 each after 4 ends. So good work from Team Iseli. He had a couple of misses early on, but finding a bit more rhythm now. And definitely keeping in touch in this game. While they are having half-time chat, let's see what's going on elsewhere. You can see on the game next door, very tight affair between Team Hürlimann, that's our guest ladies team, and Team Mercier from France. That's 1-0 after 3 ends. Next door on sheet C, that's a score of 2 points to 1 in favour of Schnider over Nyman. That's an exciting game going on there. I think we could see both of those teams, as we said, Team Nyman already qualified, and I would not be surprised to see Schnider qualified for quarter-finals later as well. So 2-1 to Schnider over Nyman just now. And over on sheet D, after 3 ends, the score is 4 points to 1 in favour of Team Jungen over the young Netherlands talent team.
Ja, aber schießt doch alles raus.
They do already have a win, the Netherlands talent team. But definitely one of their tougher opponents, Team Jungen. This is their home competition. They're from Club ADELBODEN, Team Jungen. And won a whole heap of games last season and have a fairly bright start to this season. So it could be quite tough for the young Netherlands outfit, but good to see that they've been getting wins out there. In fact, Team Netherlands talent, their win was over Team Iseli team here.
Nathan, immer bleiben.
Vor 4.
Nathan.
Vor 4.
Nathan, immer
Vor 8.
Komm mit. 15-2. Da ist auch gut, hä?
Big sweep from Max Vince and Nathan Weber. And it was worth it. What a nice shot that ends up being. Really good stuff from lead thrower Sandro Fanchini.
Щетку видишь? Как камень закрывает. Камень закрывает сколько.
He looks a little bit troubled, Jan Iseli, doesn't he?
Этот задеть тоже неплохо, если мимо вдруг пройдем.
I feel like I want to give him a bit more confidence, make him feel a bit more comfortable out there. Russia then have last stone in this 5th end.
Whoa! Whoa!
This is not going to get around that guard. But that's not a terrible plan B. That moves that yellow guard away from the centre line. I don't think that's what they were going for, but that's certainly a pretty nice plan B. And meanwhile, Iseli going to replace that guard. This is exactly what they need to do. Don't let Russia start controlling the end. Don't let Russia start putting stones in behind the corner guards. Keep Russia busy in the centre of the rink. Equally, this one's got a heap to curl. Another big sweep from the boys there. Look how much that curled though. It's covering, yeah, about just about maybe half of that stone.
Чуть-чуть там вроде
Good so.
And top sweeping from Sandro and Max there. And even if Russia remove that yellow, the yellow shot that's in the house, they should still have a centre guard they can use. Round the guard this time, I think. This looks nice from Russia though. Are they going to get the roll behind cover? Great try. Doesn't quite roll far enough, but does drag the play away from the centre. Not letting Jan Iseli use that centre guard yet. So perfect shot from here would be exactly the reverse. They want to punch that red through and they want to roll in right behind that nice yellow centre guard they have. So not too big. Not a huge weight here, please. You want to really control this roll. That yellow is going to hang around. That's good work. Not quite behind cover, but again, that moves play back towards the centre, which is what Team Iseli wants. Glukovh already qualified for this evening. Iseli looking for that first win. They would love to finish nice and strong.
It's good. No, it's good. Aber ich habe das Gefühl, 9,5 was zusammenhält.
Внимание! Сип! Воу! Воу! Легко! Нет! Внимание! Не-не-не-не-не, ничего. Блин, вообще без шансов на слуху. Стой. Хорош.
So.
Ist gut, ja.
Geht zwar nachher einfach auch so. Aber das spielen wir noch, oder?
No, your first idea was right, Jan.
Ist gut, ja,
That's
Danny.
Okay.
Just stick to the plan. You want to remove this one and try and role play back towards the centre again. Don't you let Russia start playing around with those corner guards. Again, controlled weight. We want this yellow to hang around. We want to see a nice roll towards the centre with this yellow.
Yep. Oh. Yep.
Zip.
Yep.
Hefner.
Oh. Yep.
Whoa.
This looks really nice. Yeah, I would have liked a bit more of a roll because unfortunately, really nice shot, but it didn't quite roll enough. Because Russia may have the chance to play a red stone in behind those two corner guards on the left of our screen, and it has that yellow stone behind T-line as a bit of a catcher. So he wanted a bit more of a roll there, really.
Воу! Внимание! Воу!
Это логично force, wenn du viel Garten hast.
Все, можно! Сип! Очень надо! Воу! Можно!
Made it safely past those guards. You can see it's quite a difficult line through those two guards, actually. Now what's lying? Maybe Jan will tell us. Having a good look at both of those.
По весу надо было.
I go bad.
Wir können vielleicht mit Backline plus raustappen, Heck.
Backline.
Я понял, я видел.
Definitely you've got space to pop that red. Yeah, just like that. You've definitely got space to move the red.
Ist relativ knapp an dieser Tür.
Ja, es ist eigentlich ein schwieriger Stein, aber jetzt gehst du der Einzige.
It is quite a difficult stone, yeah.
Backline plus geht, glaube ich.
We could see that Russian stone drawing in there.
Ja, wird es Heck schon.
It was sitting close to that centre line for ages and then
Wird einfach hure close.
just curled enough to make it past the guard on the centre line to curl away from that. But I definitely think this shot's makeable.
Heck,
It sounds like that red is a little bit closer. That red is the shot at the moment. But no, we need a nice controlled weight here, not too wild. Otherwise you are not going to get past that first guard. Are you sure?
Yep. Whoa.
Yeah, safely past the guard. That's good work.
Sandro, yep. Fished.
I think he's got it just about perfect.
Shit.
Oh, just that yellow's not quite going to hang around. That's a pity, but
Sorry.
tricky shot that was.
Повтор, Жек, если будет фриз, то
Great try, Max
всё
Vince.
повторить надо.
What a close, huh?
Давай даже лучше фриз. Это 2
Russia
за.
going for same idea.
What a close, dette. Vak is det galt? Nej. Så försnick sig. Nej, kvar det. Där, jag försnick sig ändå så.
4 того. Делай вес.
Second stone at this fifth end for Dmitry Mironov.
Сип, линия.
This one's certainly past that first guard.
Сип.
I'm not sure if it's past the second one though. I think it's going to catch that yellow, isn't it?
Надо посильнее сказать, Евгения.
Just a bit slower, that red, and you can see the difference. It just curled onto those corner guards. And come on, young Iseli team. The curling gods have given you another opportunity here. Essential that we lie 2 yellow points after this. They're a little bit worried about that red. Yes, you could use that red to punch back into the rings, but this is absolutely the correct shot. You get to the centre first. You put the pressure on Russia, you take the game to them. Let's say hi to superfan Megan in the chat. She's definitely one of the VIPs here in the virtual club.
Achtung, Löge, wow. Nathan, ja. Zip. Hamid, ja, fest.
We know that the stones catch a huge curl at the end. And there it goes, curl, 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 curl. I think they've played that ever so nicely. Lovely, Jan, really well done.
Perfect.
That's more like it. That's taking the game to Russia. Russia have last stone in this fifth end. You can see the score is 2 each. Again, Russia will not really want to give up last stone if they're only scoring 1 point. 3 stones to come in this fifth end, 2 for Russia, 1 for Iseli. And they're currently asking themselves, how can we give ourselves a chance to score 2 red points after that lovely stone from Jan Iseli.
У нас вот этот камень, вот этот гард не закрывает камень, вот этот.
I think that might be the best chance, you know, if you want to try to get 2 from this place. I think playing that front red onto the yellow just thrown by Jan, I think that might be our best chance to try to score 2 points here. I think playing the same line that Iseli just played, I don't think there's any advantage to that. I think that yellow will still be there. And then I think Iseli can block up that path with his final stone. I think if you want to get 2 from here, to give yourself a chance to get 2, you need a mistake with Jan Iseli's last stone anyway. But I think, yeah, really the only way you can do it is to play red onto yellow. Controlled weight then.
Бэк-вылет. Если он пойдет прям совсем плохо, то тогда ну просто раскроем.
It's not an easy shot. It sounds like they've said back line weight, and that will definitely curl towards the end, and he needs to get the angle just right. Or he may just be trying to play on his own red, ignoring that yellow that's currently in the forefoot, and do something about that with last stone. He may be just trying to split this red and get another couple of reds in. This looks pretty nice though.
Good.
Oh, it didn't quite curl enough, did it? Ooh, they never needed to sweep that. I think they were worried about it catching a big curl, but then it didn't. So yeah, you do exactly the same shot, Jan. Copy paste. And you will be lying 3 yellow. Oh no, exactly where you were. That's right. You don't want to leave the Russians a double takeout. You want this one nicely hidden inside that centre guard again. Just the exact same shot will be just perfect. And as I said, even though Glukovh already qualified for quarters, easily not able to qualify, even if they win this game, easily not able to qualify anymore. Well, I'm sure that would be a super way for them to finish this competition, to see that they managed to get a win against the 4th place World Championship team. That would be a great way to finish. So same again, boys. Everybody concentrating. Oh, get it round that guard. Get it round, get it round. Oh, they haven't quite. I think that was just a little bit less weight, it looked like, so that caught a little bit more of a curl. But that's not a bad result. I don't see a shot for 2 points here. And that meets the objective for Team Iseli for this 5th end. No chance for Russia to make 2 points. Nice chances for yellow, well set up in this end. I think Team Iseli should take good confidence from this 5th end. They played it very nicely. And this is not a gimme shot for Russia even to make 1 point here. I think he probably will. But really forcing him to make a big shot. Then again, this has got a bit to curl before it gets to that yellow stone. And I'm not sure it's going to get enough of it. It is not. And how far can Max Vince sweep that? Can he sweep it enough for a steal of 2 even? So that's definitely a steal of 1. So super play there from Team Iseli. That was really taking the game to Russia in that 5th end. Good job. That's definitely a steal of 1. It was just the 1, but great work there. I feel like the curling gods are definitely trying to give young Team Iseli a couple of chances to finish this competition with a nice strong performance. So let's keep that going. 3 ends left in this 8-end game. If scores are tied, we will go to an extra end. So let's keep concentrating, young Iseli team. Same again, please. And while we're playing first stones in the 6th end, let's see what else is going on around the ice hall. After 4 ends on sheet A, that's Team Hürlimann against Team Mercier from France, with the lovely colourful red curling pants. That is a score of 2 points to 1 for Team Hürlimann after 4 ends. On the game next door, on sheet C, after 4 ends, that's a score of 4 points to 1 in favour of Andrei Schnider over Frederick Nyman. That's an interesting one. And over on sheet D, it is a score of 5 points to 1 in the game involving the young Netherlands talent team. So they won against Team Iseli here. But having a bit of a tougher time out there against Team Jungen.
Zwei, okay. Zwei, ja. Aber er ändert 3 aus 1.
Back in our featured game, we're in the 6th end. And you keep that pressure on Team Iseli.
Zurückgezogen, gell?
And I know we're not supposed to be biased here up in technical corner, but I would love to see young Team Iseli finish with a nice strong win here.
Skanatur, 2 bis 3. 2 bis 3. 2.
4. Lenk.
And it won't affect Glukovh because he's already qualified. So I think for the sake of good curling, I would really like to see a nice strong win for the Iseli team. But I'm sure Team Glukovh will have other ideas. They may be qualified, but they will want to keep the pressure on. They will want to keep their foot on the gas. It's not the end of the world if they lose this game, but they certainly don't want to. There you can see Iseli is trying to sweep his own stone out because it's protected by the free guard zone, and back it goes. It looks like they've just seen a little piece of fluff or a speck of dirt. And in that situation, of course, it's up to the non-offending team to replace the stone. So it's Jan's stone, and he can adjust that until he's happy with it. Looks like everybody's fine with that. And that's exactly the right thing. You keep dragging play towards the centre. Don't you give Russia a chance to use that corner guard. This is only the 5th stone. Can't remove that corner guard yet. But that aggressive play worked really nicely for them in the 5th end, having plenty of yellows in play, making it too difficult for Russia to outdraw them. So maybe that aggressive style, let's apply that again in the 6th end. Keep putting that pressure on the centre. Yeah, that is good. You keep Russia busy in the centre. Don't give them a chance to start building points on the wings. You can see it's a really tight game, 3 points to 2 in favour of Team Iseli. Young Swiss team over Team Glukovh, who finished 4th in the World Championships for Russia. He does move that yellow, but he's not going to stay around. And that gives Team Iseli another chance to attack the centre. You could stick to the anti-clockwise handle here. Yeah, just bump that one forward a little bit. You don't need to be anywhere near that red guard. It's quite a thin gap actually, so yeah, I think this makes more sense. You've played this path a couple times already. There's no danger on this side. You just want to keep piling that pressure towards the centre. So, second shot of second player, Nathan Weber. Just going for same kind of shot as last time. This looks pretty nice for weight and line. He's trusting his sweepers to get it to just the right place. Nice stuff. 2 nice stones from Nathan Weber to build on the 2 nice opening stones from Sandro Fanchini. I think there is a double takeout possible here, but you will still have that yellow guard out front. And you are still not allowing Russia to settle, and you're not allowing them to use the corner guards. So don't worry if this double takeout goes. But it doesn't though. He's just jammed it beautifully in behind cover. Sticking to that tactic then on the anti-clockwise handle. A second guard is not a bad result either.
Not to freeze.
You don't really want to set up a double because I don't think Russia will miss it too often. But if you can catch the right curl and really get a second stone buried in behind that guard, you're really asking the question of Russia in this sixth end. One more round robin after this round. The final round robin is at 5 o'clock European time. And after that, we will know the draw for the quarterfinal. I can't tell you which teams are playing which in the quarterfinal yet. Yes, yeah, I like that as a second guard. I think that's okay. It's a little bit close. There is a possible double on those guards, but again, Russia not getting the chance to build an end here, and that's important. So yeah, it won't be clear who's playing whom in the quarterfinal until after that next round, but whoever it is, we will be watching Sheet B, and typically the organisers will pick the most interesting looking game, I think. Or they may choose to watch a team that we maybe haven't had a chance to look at yet. Let's see. So he does get the double on the guards. And yes, that's exactly the right shot. I normally don't try to telepathically help the teams, but I am at the moment. If I can telepathically encourage young team Iseli to finish with a nice strong performance here, I'm quite happy about that. And indeed, no more chance for you, Russia, to use your corner guard. Nice and tidy, well done. What I can tell you about the quarterfinals, we already have 4 teams qualified. One of them is right in front of us. That's Team Glukovh. They are already qualified for this evening, win or lose here. Team Nyman on Sheet C, also already qualified, win or lose. Team Hess, that we've watched a couple of times already this weekend, already qualified for this evening, as well as Team Hösli. So those 4 teams definitely will be in action this evening at 9 o'clock. 4 more teams to join them. It won't be Team Iseli, as I said. Even if they win this game, that won't be enough to qualify them. Well, that would sure be a great way to finish their competition. And the teams will be having to think now. We're getting towards the end of this game. We're in the 6th end, and we've got 8 ends. So the teams will now be thinking a bit of game management as well, not just end by end, but a little bit of game management. Just thinking, okay, if we score in this end, and then if they score in the next end, and so on like that. Nice shot from Russia. That was definitely their best idea. Using that front yellow as a guard, in fact. And now what he wants is to play yellow onto red. Third thrower, Max Vince, Just making sure he knows exactly where we need to hit that yellow. I think boop it on the nose will be perfect. And as somebody very good at curling once told me, when you're playing this kind of shot, a raise, so yellow onto a red or one stone onto another, he said, don't think about what's coming next. A nose hit is just a nose hit. So just you concentrate on hitting the first stone in the right place and don't worry about what's coming after. We need a big sweep here. We don't want it to curl too much. Oh, and he's just missed it. Unlucky. That shows you how good that Russian stone was. They gave it everything, trying to hold on to that line, but just squeaked past it.
Блин, сюда просто на край вести как-то неудобно никуда. Давай. Надо по камню точно прятаться.
Yeah, no need for too much discussion here, boys. You are lying one red, and you should be putting a second one somewhere between that yellow and the red.
Roll double будет. Куда roll? Сюда? Сложно.
Sort of halfway between horizontally and halfway between vertically. Pretty much there, yeah.
Мы хотим угол.
Но он все равно пробьет так. Либо близко, либо...
Здесь ему надо 3 угла будет поймать, чтобы выбить все камни.
Да нет, слушай, здесь очень близко все будет. Может, реально рок нормально?
Мы один свой забираем. Я к тому, что здесь ему придется бить через свой камень, сложный бросок. И у него камень точно откатывается. Если он не попадает, то он может 2 дать.
Тебе не нравится дорога? Все, что открытие, это тоже дабл простой.
Небольшой угол.
Even losing 2 red, not the end of the world. Iseli are +1 at the moment. And if they lost a 2, that would then mean that Russia is +1 with 2 ends to play, and that's still very makeable.
Только вес!
Линия окей, линия окей, линия окей.
Линии много.
Линия хорош.
Линий пока много.
Ждем, ждем, ждем. Линия очень прямо пока. Нет, только Даня, только Даня.
Много, только Даня.
Блять, будешь валить. Нет, сып, сып, сып.
It's not quite the line I would have wanted, but weight's pretty nice. Definitely a double takeout opportunity for Jan, definitely, yep. Again, I think a nose hit will do the job here. Then he'd be lying 2 yellow, and that will be a super end for Iseli. Again, Max making sure he knows exactly where it needs to hit. If it's really hanging out, you could do it that way. If it's really not curling at all, but I think that's the more difficult way. I think I'd rather just hit this red on the nose, and then you will spring the pair of reds in both directions, and that will be a really satisfying one. So come on, Jan. Deep breath now. Looked like a nice smooth release.
Okay, yeah.
There's no sweeping. Sounds happy. Has he got the pair of them? I think he's done enough though. So he doesn't quite spin both reds out, but he is lying 2 yellow, and that's really good stuff. Well done. And it looks like, yeah, Russia's not even looking at the double on the yellows. Tricky double, you could make it, but Jan Iseli has done enough to force the issue in this 6th end. Another strong end then from Team Iseli. Russia now drawing against 2 yellows. He needs this to be in the 8-foot circle, in the white circle, to score 1 point and bring the scores back to level. I'm sure he'll have no trouble. The sweepers just making sure. Yep. Big smile from Anton Kalav. Yep, you got it there. Good job. And scores are level again. What an exciting game we have out there. We knew this would be a tough ask for young Iseli team against the Russian team, who finished 4th at the World Championship. It's a big ask to take on this team, but I don't want to curse them. They're doing a great job so far. I'd love to see them keep up this level, keep taking the game to Russia. Scores are level then. It's 3 points each after 6 ends. 2 ends left to come. Now, if you're Team Iseli, what are you discussing in your team chat after that 6th end? What's your ideal objective for this 7th end? I will give you a hint. It's a blank. If Team Iseli can engineer a blank end, they will go into the 8th end with scores level and holding on to last shot, and that should put them in a nice strong position to push this game over the line. Russia will want the exact reverse. Russia would ideally want to force Team Iseli to score 1 point here. That's their ideal result. And then they would be minus 1 point, but they would have last stone in the last end. So aggressive start then from Russia. You will surely see the stone going into the house from Team Iseli. They will not really be wanting guards out front. As I said, their ideal result here is a blank end. The score is still level, and they still having hammer in the 8th end. They would love to have a blank, and that's why they will put this yellow stone. I expect they will be aiming for the house. Oh no, they're not. Are they? Interesting. It looks like that is what they call. That's not a misthrown shot. This is the other option. If Iseli goes flat out aggressive to try to score 2 points with last stone here, then they would go into the 8th end +2 without hammer, but that's a pretty good position. That could be then what they're trying to do at the moment. Let's say plan A is to try to go flat out to score 2 points with last stone here in the 7th, and then take our chance with some aggressive play in the 8th. And maybe plan B is the blank end. But yeah, definitely going for the 2-pointer here in the 7th. So courageous stuff from Team Iseli here. I hope it's not too courageous. And now what does Russia do? So 2 super shots from Sandro Fanchini to start us off in the 7th end. Really good placement there. What does Russia do? Do they play towards the wings, do something about the yellows, or do they use those 2 center guards? This is the correct shot, because they are trying to force Team Iseli to score a point here. And the best way to try and achieve that is to try to keep play towards the center.
Linie super. Linie отличная. Linie отличная. Жень, легко, легко, легко. Цып. Только линию.
Ziemlich easy noch für einen mitzunehmen.
460, вес вообще зайти, наверное.
Да, сам.
They've certainly got the line nice.
Хорош, Nyman, отлично.
Weight's pretty good by itself. 5 stones played, 3 guard zones over.
Super,
and definitely possible to move both of these guards.
Всегда бы, да, так?
Oh, nee.
Need to make sure we get something. So he's definitely got one, but I don't think he's got both. That makes make life interesting.
Прикол.
Getting a second yellow punched in there.
Все распинать,
That's the danger stone.
Easy.
Да, средний, небольшой перевал лба. Чуть шире лба. Чуть уже, вернее.
Russia
да? Чужил бы.
would quite
Да-да.
like to force one yellow point, but they don't really want to give up two. That would make their life in the 8th end a little bit more difficult than they want. So time to start removing some yellows.
Сип! 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 Жестче! Сип, Даня! Воу, воу, воу. Может так хотя бы.
Kannst fast auf freeze jetzt, kannst switchen.
Быстрее сделал, блин.
Nein, nein. Schon
He
gut.
does get one of those yellows.
Viel, ja, ja. Gut, vielleicht laufen wir Force rein.
We may then be looking at plan B for this end.
Давай, что ли?
Yeah, and Iseli maybe saying to himself, maybe a blank is more
Oh, nein, 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 nein,
realistic
nein,
now
nein, nein.
for this 7th end. Ooh, oh
That was
no,
nice.
that's kind of the worst of all worlds. He doesn't move the guard, and I wonder if he could have swept that a bit earlier
Не, не.
and
Roll
just gone
center,
directly
это
for the
на
shot
движение
after
наших
all.
камней.
Да, 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 не, плохо.
Okay, so very unlikely they're getting
Даже
2
если
points
мы
after
берем
that.
камень, у нас всегда гард остается.
Ролл, ролл.
Небольшой ролл, stay, окей. Нам важен шутер. Контрол.
Actually, it's not a disaster for Team
Yeah.
Iseli
Yeah.
if Russia scores
Mania.
1 point
What?
here.
Whoa!
Then Team Iseli goes into the last end -1, but with last shot.
Ну, я просто не знаю, мы шутер сохранить не можем.
That took an age to curl, but gets there in the end. Right, okay, Jan. I think I might bail this end out if I was
Good,
you,
Danny.
and yeah, just
Watch
maybe
Watch
that
out.
window.
try and
Oh,
work
good
for a
job, well
blank
done.
instead.
Ошибка, ошибка, ошибка такое. Игра веселая.
Yep. Oh.
Whoa.
Nee.
Whoa!
Not done. Not done.
Whoa!
Not done. Not done.
Whoa!
Паш напил.
Well, good he played that slightly gentler weight.
Sorry,
Давай.
sorry.
That also took an age to find the curl at the end there, and unfortunately that yellow's rolled out, and that gives Russia a chance to replace that red
Хочешь?
behind the centre guard.
Schnell ist gesehen.
Если не знаете там вес, давайте, мне без разницы.
Nicht so schlecht gewesen, ja. Schon gut.
Хорошо.
Короче,
Даня легко. Даня легко. Воу.
Вес отличный.
Шире. Все, есть,
Do
шире.
let us know in the chat if you want
Внимание.
how you would
Вес
rather
отличный.
Что вес?
go into this 8th end.
Линия хорошая, ребят.
Вес
It's
Линия
an
хорошая.
ongoing data study. Would you rather be
Расстояние.
+1
Сип,
stone,
сип, сип.
+1
Ниже,
point,
ниже, ниже, ниже.
but you don't have last stone, or would you rather be -1 point, but you do have last stone? In the 4-rock free guard zone world, statistically,
Кто здесь не поехал?
your chance of winning the game was exactly 50-50.
Блин, кажется, хорошо еду.
Also, was du über Girl
You had exactly as much chance of winning the game
So, Russ, ein bisschen weniger,
from
weniger.
either position.
Мы не можем шутер сохранить.
Not everyone believes that, but
Сколько мы раз?
that's science.
Пятый. Когда мы теряем.
In the 5-rock free guard zone, I'm not too sure actually. I think we probably don't have quite enough data points yet.
Oh. Yep, yep.
This looks like a decent effort. Ooh, I think they maybe just got the sweeping wrong though. Again, that was kind of neither one nor the other in the end.
Думаю, да.
Он будет играть с этим, и мы бьем стрейт.
Ага.
It has generated a wee bit of space in the middle though, and as I said, even losing one stone to Russia in the seventh end, not the end of the world for Team Iseli. Then they would be in the -1 with last stone position going into the 8th end. Skip stones to come in the 7th end of our featured game at the second ADELBODEN International. 2 stones each. Iseli from Switzerland with the last shot. Don't worry about the camera. It is wobbling around a bit, but that just means someone's opened the door and there's been a little gust of air into the ice hall.
Жека, поменяйтесь. 15-12, да, до конца.
Сыпь ниже красного. Сыпь!
This looks nice from the Russian again.
Да.
3 stones to come then, 2 for Iseli, 2 yellow shots to come, and 1 more for Russia. I think definitely the right idea is to drive that yellow back.
По весу. А я еще еду, у меня вот это вот начинает вот так вот. Да, сейчас да.
Пойду посмотрю, что там на хоге происходит.
I think I would be heavy before light on this shot. What you don't want is stones hanging around out front that Russia can draw behind again. So even if you played yellow onto the left of those reds, that would give Russia something to think about. I'm not sure there's a convenient yellow onto both reds to get a double.
Okay, well. Easy.
So that's made it slightly better, but I think he's going to be looking at quite a tricky shot, Jan. Yeah, exactly. Russia's surely just going to guard that centre red.
Doubles, шутер уйдет.
Еще вариант.
Еще варианты только если ты покинешь. Мне так не нравится, мы центр откроем.
Подальше ко мне.
You could also put a third red in there. And the reason you might want to do that is, as I said, scoring 1 Russian point here. That's okay for Iseli actually. So if you put up a guard, there will be 2 reds in the house and 1 guard. And if Iseli just moves one of those reds out of the way, you would have 1 red left, scoring 1. But if you have 3 reds in the house, then you're forcing Iseli to move 2 of them to only score 1. So I do think it's important that you have 3 reds in the rings after this shot. That wasn't a great shot from Jan Iseli with his first stone for me. He really didn't achieve too much with it. We have Samantha in the chat. Hi, Samantha. Nice to have you with us. I know the Russian team has quite a lot of fans. They're always very loyal, the Russian fans. They always tune in to watch the live stream.
Чуть-чуть перевал в центр, ребят, смотрим. Линия будет. Линия отличная.
Дай мне быть, ребят, дай мне быть.
Сюда.
That looks pretty much where they wanted it for Russia, so 3 reds indeed.
было перевели правильно.
Erfuhr ist schnell.
Ja, wir sind echt safe für Doppel haben.
Ja.
По идее.
And I feel like this end was going really well for Iseli, and then just the last couple of stones have really turned the momentum the other way.
Wir sind echt wirklich safe für Doppel.
You need to move at least 2 of these.
So, wenn du genau auf der Nase hast, geht
1 red
genau
point
die
is
Nase.
not a disaster, but 2 red points is making life very difficult.
В таких ситуациях.
Точно, либо
Сколько
форс.
ты его разведешь?
Ну сколько?
Куда
Ну,
ты
на
его
дно.
разведешь?
Если бэк вылет, толкать камень, допустим. Чтобы у него не было вариантов.
So let's make sure we're all aligned with where we need to hit this stone.
Ошибается в клев, то ты крадешь.
Focus all your energy on that. Know where you need to hit that front stone, and you don't need to worry about what's coming after that.
Конечно, постараюсь.
Yep, yep. Oh,
Ja!
yep.
Ja! Zieh!
Oh, oh. Yep, yep.
Ja! Zieh! Kom op.
Well, he has indeed moved at least 2 of them. Has he got the third one? Oh, he has.
Staat in je.
Wowzers. That was quite an effort from Jan Iseli with his last shot there. And did that yellow hang around at the front, or was it a blank in the end?
Is je ze ingedraaid?
Ну вот сейчас
Мне нравится в таких ситуациях.
What an unexpectedly super duper shot that was. I wasn't even sure if you could get all 3. That did end up being 1 yellow.
Ну,
Wow.
а так ему 3 надо было бить. Для одного.
Great save from Jan Iseli then.
Да, мы
Ja.
могли 2
Ja,
украсть.
ja, ja.
Так что все, что 2 берем.
It was really important not to give up 2 points there. And he got rid of the whole bunch of them and sat 1.
Ja, is goed.
Nein, 3.
I feel like he can give himself a little bit of a smile. He still doesn't look
Einfach
completely comfortable out there, Jan. He has rather a sober expression. So deep breath for everyone. Heart rate down a little bit. Stone placement from Sandro Fanchini essential in this final end. Team Glukovh needing at least 1 to keep the game going, and looking for 2 points to win the game from here. Team Iseli looking for exactly the opposite.
Nur drüber.
We've seen this shot many times. This just over the hog line. Great stuff from Sandro. Super start.
Nou, die gaat niet. Maar dan is 3.
Ja, het is zo van een vorige keer
Ja.
man denkt, hier is het direct.
Russia going away from the centre line by the look of it,
Dat hij niet dat hij wist.
from where the brush is, and what they may be doing is just getting a stone into the house
Rubine, oder wenn wir
as a kind of insurance shot. Oh no, they're
Пока чуть шире, ребят.
3 cm.
Отличный вес.
Можно Диму? Диму.
actually, yeah, they do need 2 points to win the game from here.
Для тебя просто
So they'll certainly start out with tactics to try to get 2 points,
Oder, was wil je?
but always making sure they can get at least 1 to not lose the game from here. Iseli will do exactly the reverse. They will keep putting pressure towards the middle. Try to make it too difficult for Russia to even get 1 point.
Drie is goed. 3.
12 is
We
ook
need
goed.
another nice shot here from Sandro.
8.
14.
Ja, is bis 8.
I think this is just going to roll on a wee bit too far, but it's got a nice line.
Goed zo.
Можно стейня, стейня,
They did want that just tight to the house without actually being in the house. But you can see it's found that really nice line. It's right in behind that yellow. And I don't think that will change what Russia is going to do.
А потом доставай.
Если у нас не пойдет валить, и точнее перевалит, можем толкнуть и этот открыть. Если мы сами сюда залезем, нам следующий камень здесь будет. Нам все равно в центр лезть.
My Russian language certainly not good
Тут
enough
надо
to
только единственное
understand the
очень
discussion
точно
there.
делать.
Нет.
But in some way, this suits Jan Iseli. If Russia's being tempted into playing towards the centre, they threw up that corner guard, but they're not doing anything with it. Team Iseli with nothing to lose out there. Still looking for their first win this weekend, but tough ask against this Russian team, and they're really taking this game to Russia. That's worked out well for them though, that shot. That's exactly what they called for. But that red fully open, I think. I imagine second thrower Nathan Weber. I imagine he can see all of that red, so just deep breath now. Don't concentrate on the finishing line just yet. Let's concentrate on every single stone. And indeed it looks like they're throwing that slightly gentler weight to be in control of this stone. We don't need to throw a huge weight here. Important is this red leaves the house. And that gentler weight means the sweepers have much more control. Yeah, what a nice team shot that was. Very well done. This is a really exciting finale for our featured game here in ADELBODEN. We thought this would be a tough one for Team Iseli against the Russians, but gosh, they're giving themselves every chance to steal a win here. And how does that look? Ooh. Pretty close.
Ich glaube mehr, aber bin nicht sicher. Aber ich würde die auftun.
Yes, I would remove that corner guard, Jan. Or that you could do it the other way around. You could put another stone in behind that corner guard before you remove it. We're not at a great angle, but I think the red is maybe shot, but yeah, this is the correct idea. Let's remove that corner guard. No more stones getting hidden behind it. Keep everything open. Losing one and going to an extra end, not a disaster for Team Iseli. They will have last shot in an extra end if that's how it goes. Ooh, ooh.
Sorry.
Well, I think that surprised everyone. I think I heard one of the Swiss boys saying sorry for that. That wasn't really what they meant to do. They did manage to remove that red in the rings. Doesn't matter who was closer now because that red's now gone. But they did leave a yellow out front, which Russia can use still as a corner guard. Final throw in this 8th end for Evgeny Klimov. I think he's adjusted from his previous stone. This looks a bit better. That's really nice. Well done.
Good.
Now, don't you get sucked into their game, Jan. But let's make the stone count. First stone for third thrower Max Vince. 4 stones each to come in this very exciting 8th end of our featured game. There is one more draw for the round robin at 5 o'clock European. We will be recharging the chat batteries at that time, but we will all be back at 9 o'clock in the evening for the quarterfinals. And he did make that stone count. Great throw from Max Vince.
Небольшой контакт. Разлочить этот.
Слушай, как у меня, наверное, девятка тогда.
Вес как у Димона был примерно. Чуть-чуть, может.
Как
первый мой был.
Вес как первый у Димы.
If Russia are to score 2 in this 8th end, they need a mistake from Iseli. If Team Iseli play 8 for 8 stones, the best Russia can do is score 1. And they must score at least 1 to keep the game going. But if Team Iseli throw all 8 stones that they're asked for, Team Russia will only ever get a 1. And can they hold this line on the red? It's curled a wee bit past. And the yellow is still short now. So there's a slightly nervy way of finishing off an end. It's a bit of a high risk, high reward way of finishing off the end, but if this gets them over the line, then let's do it. They did have that one loose shot where they were trying to remove the corner guard, but ended up nosing it and kind of making a bit of a mistake that way. So yeah, the traditional way of closing out this game may not be possible anymore. Yeah, make the good decision, Jan, and all you need to do is place your shots, and Russia will only ever be able to get 1. Russia needs a miss from Team Iseli to have a chance at making 2. So this makes sense. Let's make sure we're all aligned. We've got chances in this 8th end. Let's make sure we're making the correct decision. But do in fact get on with it. Don't spend too long discussing, otherwise I think you lose the rhythm a bit, you lose the feel. The other thing you could do, you are lying short at the moment, you could go for the centre first at this point. You don't have to keep playing out to the wings as Russia likes. I might be tempted at this point to draw one in on the clockwise handle around the centre guard. Since you're lying shot already on the wing, if you were lying 2 with a nice separation, that would be asking the question of Russia in this 8th end. But most important is we're all aligned, and most important is Team Iseli plays their 8 shots. No mistakes, please. Second throw for Max Vince in this 8th end. Let's make sure, boys. You can see the sweepers constantly looking up to make sure they're judging the weight correctly. See, what you don't want is to leave some sort of double takeout for Russia, which you have. I think the better shot really at this point was to go for the centre. Because what you risk happening now is if Russia makes this shot, you could be lying a hat full of reds over there. Maybe a little bit of inexperience there showing. I hope it doesn't cost them.
бросать, Димон, не бросать, не бросать. Сип! Жестче! Сип, 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 Димон.
Бля, ну как так-то? Ничего, нормально. Окей.
I think they may just about have got away with this.
Ja, Nose finde ich nicht schlecht. Nose finde ich super.
But they're playing high-risk stuff out there.
Oder?
Iseli team. Now we have to remove that red. And at this point, I quite like rolling the other way. I quite like rolling left.
Sorry, no, so.
Eher nach links, wie nach rechts, glaube ich.
Wie?
Wenn rollen, dann eher nach links, nach rechts.
Ja, lieber so ein
I think it will be quite difficult to bring that other red into play. The one that Max is just touching with his brush there. I think it will be pretty difficult to bring that back into play at this point. So let's get rid of the red in the forefoot and let's make sure we know what we're doing with the shooter. Really cutting down the opportunity that Russia can even score to and win the game from this point, making sure that the best they can do is get an extra end. Without last stone, it would be.
Ja. Wow. Achtung. Wow. Wow. Nathan, ja. Mush.
A little bit too much weight on that again. A little bit careless with that shot. Even if that had just hit on the nose, hit and stick where it was, that was probably a better result. You see, the centre is frustratingly open for someone. Russia think they can bring that other red back into play. And that's because we didn't really control the shooter with Jan's first shot there. We really needed that shooter in a more dangerous place. You can see it just rolled too far. It rolled just past that red. And it's not anymore putting pressure on Russia. So Russia does have a bit of a second chance here at this double takeout. This has certainly got plenty of weight on it. And that's found quite a good spot actually to move that red. There's plenty of stones behind to catch it. 2 stones to come, 1 each in this 8th end. I don't think you can get to that side of it, boys. I think that yellow guard is in your way. I think you will have to play on the counterclockwise handle. If you do want to get to the outside of that red as we're looking at it, you will have to play the counterclockwise handle. And I think you just want to curl just slightly past the nose. Yeah, that kind of weight, backline hack, not a big weight. This needs to be quite a delicate shot. But, oh gosh, you've made your life very difficult, boys, in this last end. If you can get that, that's a great shot. So don't think about it too long. Right, come on, Jan. Big shot coming up here.
Jan. Jetzt, komm noch eins schnell. Sorry.
Was?
Wenn du eine Nase hast mit einem 9, was macht er? Bist Shot. Du liegst stehen,
And interesting stuff going on next door on sheet C. Andrew Schnider's team are 6-3 ahead of Frederick Nyman's team. Nyman's team already qualified this evening. They don't need to win this game. But Schnider does need to win this game, and that will put both of them on 3 wins. Interesting stuff on sheet C. And I want to see interesting stuff here on sheet B. I want a nice stone here from Jan Iseli. They have worked so hard, this team, to keep themselves in this game. As I said, I do think they made a bit of a tactical mistake in this end. I think as soon as that Russian stone overcurled towards the wing, I think they should have said, right, now we're going for the centre, and I think they've made their life a little bit difficult, and I really hope it doesn't cost them. So come on, Jan. Nice gentle weight. Make sure your sweepers can control it. Max right down close to the stone. Yes, no sweeping. I think he's given himself a great chance. Wowzers. That is Sertion. Great effort, Jan Iseli. Look at that. So they made their life difficult, but they are still hanging on to this game. Definitely worth a fist bump. Come on, Jan. You can afford a smile now. That was a great shot. I think Chief Digital Technician Stucki is dreading an extra end. I think he's feeling a bit tired. We have Deputy Chief Franzi taking over for a minute. We had 2 extra ends in the previous session. That's why this session was a little bit later coming on. And there you can see what a save that was from Jan Iseli. That was just a superb shot, because there's no shot to make 2 for Russia. They have to accept they are not winning the game at this point. The best they can do is just throw this red for 1 point. I know that was maybe a wee bit closer than they might have liked, but no trouble there. And we do in fact have bonus curling. We have another extra end. So the 5 o'clock session will probably also be a little bit later to start due to the extra end delaying this session, and now we have an extra end in our featured game.
Super soft feeling, huh?
5 o'clock session then will probably be at least 15 minutes later, I would think. They may be able to start the other games on the other 3 sheets. But yeah, our featured game at 5 o'clock, which will feature Team Hösli, who are also qualified for this evening, against Team Dean Hürlimann. That will surely be a little bit later to start, thanks to this extra end. Now, we all know the drill for an extra end. Russia will want the stone pretty much where Sergei Glukov's brush is. And I'm sure we will see Jan Iseli asking Sandro Fanchini for a tick shot.
Mit dem Shooter raus. Mit dem Shooter möglichst weit raus.
I wonder why he's playing it on this handle. Maybe because he feels there's more space on the left of the red stone rather than the right.
Ja, tip, tip. Yep. Tip, kom. Hard. Hard.
Tip.
Hard. Hard.
Tip.
Fest, fest, fest.
Tip.
Fest, go, 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 go.
Really strong sweepers, these 2 Swiss boys, and I think Sandro Fanchini's played a corker here. Even if that red goes into the house, we don't mind too much, as long as it doesn't go out. Oh, unlucky Sandro. That was really only out by a couple of centimetres. He nearly had it perfectly.
Yeah. Ja, wir glauben, mit deiner drin. Mit deiner Soft.
Small adjustment, and he can surely try again. Curling Hoot says that's their favourite advice from Lorna, is don't think about it too long. Yeah, as I said, the timeout is a relatively new invention in curling. I have been completely ambivalent about timeouts since it was introduced. I think it was a problem, sorry, I think it was a solution that didn't really have a problem, to be honest. And I do feel that I see as many shots missed after a timeout as I see made. And I do also often think, or mostly think, that with only a few exceptions, your instinct, so the shot that you think about first that looks good to you first of all, I think typically that is probably your best shot. Just occasionally there's maybe a shot that you haven't seen and your teammates can point it out and say, how about this? But I think typically go with your instinct. Especially at this level, most of these teams will be fairly experienced, and you develop a bit of a feel for what's the right shot. And this looks like a nice effort again from Sandro. He's made that adjustment and he's got a really nice shot. Doesn't matter that they've punched that red into the rings. Look where it is. It's miles away from the centre. All Jan Iseli needs is one stone going towards the forefoot. They will not care at all that that red has been punched into the rings. We will not expect that to have any impact at the conclusion of the end. First throw for second player, Evgeny Klimov for Russia. I'm not sure if the call was another guard or if they were going for the house. Doesn't really matter because I expect Iseli to remove the guard. I'm not sure that helps you, Jan. If you hit and roll on that red, you're just giving Russia the chance to do it better next time. Whereas if you remove the guard, then you're encouraging play towards the house rather than getting muddled up with guards out front. But as long as he makes this shot, that will help the situation. We need to make sure we get something from every stone. This is pretty much what he called for then. The hit and roll away to our left. And Russia are indeed going to try again. Already at third stones. All right, no, I've miscounted, sorry. This is the second throw for Evgeny Klimov. Hasn't really improved his situation. That's gone behind tee. And I do think now is the time to remove that guard. Second throw for Nathan Weber. This looks like a lovely shot. Nice, cleanly made. Well done. Good throwing from Nathan Weber. This is looking nicely in control at the moment for Team Iseli. I don't want to curse them. You can see how much, though, even just 1 out of 2 tick shots from Sandro Fanchini. He was ever so close to making 2, but you can see what a difference it makes, even just getting 1 off them. Helps the team out hugely. Russia then wanting to replace that centre guard.
Сип, 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 сип. Пятый отлично будет. Линия отличная.
And I fancy we will see Iseli remove it again. Don't you get sucked into their game. That's it. You play towards the tactics that you want to play. Another nice clean peel, please. This time from third thrower Max Vince. This looks nice again. Really nice peel. No trouble there. And I think we'll probably see one more of those from Russia before they're going to have to take the game to the Swiss.
Окей, линия чуть шире той. Окей, ждем, линия будет. Чуть шире той.
Отлично, туда же.
Все, хорошо.
Если только варить можно.
Все, линия отлично.
Вес туда же.
Чуть-чуть.
So same again.
Хорош.
From third thrower Dimitri. Sorry, that was... Oh, that must have been Dimitri. Yeah, it was. Dimitri Mironov. And copy-paste for Max Vince. And then we will be down to skip stones in this extra end. On sheet A on our left, longest game in the history of the world by the look of it. And no trouble again for Max Vince. And oh look, as a wee bonus, he's caught that red in the front ring. Satisfying stuff from Max Vince. 2 really nicely thrown stones. 4 stones to come, 2 each. Four important shots here. And we are definitely building up to a big last throw from Iseli. Not sure what the call is for Russia here. I'm not sure there's much advantage to throwing another guard. I think they would be wiser to start putting things into the house. It's pretty nice there. And Jan will just remove that tight guard, and then whatever Russia does with their last stone, Jan will definitely have a good chance to close out this game with his last shot. The left-hander, I always think it looks so awkward throwing with your left hand, but I'm sure they think the same about us right-handers. This should be quite straightforward. Just peeling one stone, and it looks like he's done it very nicely. One shot each then. Last stone coming up for Russia in this extra end. As I've said, the result of this game actually not affecting quarter-final places. But that's not important right now. And I'm sure all of Team Glukov's potential opposition are delighted that Team Iseli have taken them to an extra end, using up some additional energy. Just where Dimitri Miranov's brush is at the top of the 4-foot circle, that's pretty much where they want it. And yeah, he's played that about as nicely as he could have. And now this is very much a personal choice. What kind of weight you feel the most comfortable throwing. He's just thrown a hit, Jan. A little bit difficult for me to tell, but I think if you boop that on the nose, I think that will be enough. If you just hit and stick, I think that will be enough for the game. Everything under control then here. I'm sure the nerves will be a bit high, but again, Jan expects this. That's why he's here. He's here to throw this final stone in an extra end. The sweeper's so close to it. I think his line looks super. Right on the nose. And that's it. Oh, and he gets the double. Well, I'm delighted for them. What a great performance from Team Iseli. They had a bit of a get out of jail free in the third end. That could have been a big, that could have been a big 4 instead of a 2. But the curling gods gave them a chance, and off they ran with it. And good for them. I'm really happy for them. As I said, doesn't affect anything. Glukovh still qualified for quarterfinals this evening. Is that it? So these stones, nothing to do with the game we've just seen. This is the last stone draw for the next round, or to add to the average. But really nice strong win for Team Iseli in an extra end there over Russia. That's a super win for them. As we said, the Russians finishing second in the table at the World Championships and finally finishing overall 4th. We will see Team Glukovh again this evening. As I said, it's not clear the other 4 teams in the quarterfinals yet, but we will surely be watching the most tasty of the lineups this evening. So do join us again at 9 o'clock. There's another stream coming up. I don't think it will be 5 o'clock because there's a couple of games still out there, but there is one more round robin game, probably about maybe 5:30. We'll put that information out as soon as we have it. But do join us. We will all be back here at 9 o'clock this evening, European, for the quarterfinals. I hope you all enjoyed that really exciting game. And do join us again later. Bye for now.